He sat in a quiet garden, doing absolutely nothing. Then, a single piece of fruit fell to the dirt, and his mind unlocked the universe. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Historyline English podcast. Imagine a boy who had no friends. He liked to sit alone and think about the stars. How did this lonely boy change the world forever? Let us travel back in time. We are going to a small farm in England. The year is 1642. The world is very dark at night. There are no streetlights. There are no cars. People work hard in the fields all day. They go to sleep when the sun goes down. Most people never travel far from their homes. They live simple lives. They look up at the sky. They see the moon and the stars. But they do not understand how the sky works. They believe it is magic. They believe it is a mystery. In this quiet world, a baby was born on a cold winter day. His name was Isaac Newton. But it was not a happy day. Isaac was born early. He was very, very small. He was so tiny that people thought he would die. The women in the house put a warm blanket around him. They hoped he would survive. That means to stay alive when things are very difficult. They did not think he would live through the night. But baby Isaac was strong. He lived. His life was sad from the very beginning. His father was already dead. His father died a few months before Isaac was born. So, Isaac only had his mother. But when Isaac was 3 years old, his mother left. She married a new man. This new man did not want a little boy. So, his mother moved to a new house. She left little Isaac behind. She left him to live with his grandmother. Imagine how a 3-year-old boy feels. His mother is gone. He is in a big, old farmhouse. He felt abandoned. That means left behind, like nobody is coming back for you. This deep sadness changed him. He did not smile very much. He did not laugh loudly. He became a very quiet child. Other children played in the streets. They ran and shouted. Isaac did not join them. He stayed in the corners. He liked to be alone. But his mind was never quiet. He watched the world very closely. He watched how a shadow moved across the wall during the day. He watched how the wind pushed the trees. He started to build things. He used small pieces of wood. He built tiny windmills. He made little kites from paper. He tied candles to his kites and flew them at night. People in the village saw lights in the sky. They were scared. They thought the lights were ghosts. But it was only a quiet boy, playing with the wind. He was always thinking. He was always asking questions. But school was difficult for him. What happened when this strange boy went to school? Nobody expected this. At school, the teachers did not think Isaac was smart. He stared out the window. He did not talk to the other boys. He was not the best student in his class. Sometimes, he was the worst. He was dreaming about other things. But slowly, he started to read. He read big books. He learned how to make a special clock. This clock used the sun to tell time. It was a sundial. He put it on the wall of his house. People could look at his wall and know the time. People started to see that Isaac was not stupid. He was just different. When he was older, his mother returned. Her second husband died. She came back to the farm. She wanted Isaac to be a farmer. She wanted him to take care of the cows and the sheep. She told him to watch the animals. But Isaac was a terrible farmer. He forgot about the sheep. The sheep ran away and ate the neighbor's plants. He sat under a tree and read a book instead. He did not care about the farm. He only cared about ideas. Finally, a teacher saw his special mind. The teacher told his mother, "This boy must go to university. He is not a farmer. He is a thinker. So, Isaac packed his bags. He left the quiet farm. He traveled to the city. He went to Cambridge University. Cambridge was a huge school. It was full of smart people. It was full of old books. For the first time in his life, Isaac was happy. He found his true home. At Cambridge, nobody asked him to watch sheep. Nobody told him to be normal. He could read all day. He could read all night. He read books by famous scientists. He read about math. He read about the planets. He learned everything the school could teach him. He was a poor student, so he had to work. He cleaned the rooms of the richer students. He brought them food. But he did not care. He was near the books. That was all he wanted. He stayed in his room and filled notebooks with numbers. He wrote down questions. He wanted to know what light was. He wanted to know why planets move. He was finally finding answers. But then, a dark shadow fell over England. It was the year 1665. A terrible sickness came to the cities. It was called the Great Plague. A plague is a very bad disease that spreads fast and kills many people. People in the cities started to die. The sickness moved from street to street. There was no medicine. There was no cure. The leaders of Cambridge were very afraid. They told all the students to leave. They locked the doors of the school. Everyone had to go home and run away from the sickness. Isaac packed his bags again. He traveled back to the quiet farm in Woolsthorpe. This seemed like a disaster. His education was stopped. He was back in the boring countryside. He was completely alone. He had no teachers. He had no friends. No huge library. But sometimes, quiet places make the loudest ideas. Isaac stayed at the farm for almost 2 years. Scientists today call it the Year of Wonders. And here is why. First, he looked at light. In those days, people thought light was only white. Isaac closed all the windows in his room. It was completely dark. He made one tiny hole in the wood. A single line of sunlight came in. Then, he held up a prism. A prism is a piece of glass shaped like a triangle that bends light. He put it in the line of sunlight. The white light hit the glass. And then, something beautiful happened. The light came out the other side, but it was not white anymore. It was red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. A perfect rainbow. You must write a book. The world must know. So, Isaac finally sat down to write. He wrote for 18 months. He barely ate. He barely slept. He forgot to talk to people. The book was finished in 1687. It was called the Principia. It is one of the most important books in human history. Inside, Isaac explained 3 laws of motion. 3 simple rules that explain how everything in the universe moves. First, things like to keep doing what they are doing. A rock sitting still will stay still forever, unless something moves it. A rock moving in space will move forever, unless something stops it. Second, heavy things are hard to push. A small stone moves fast. A huge boulder moves slowly. Same push, very different result. Third, every push has a pushback. Hit a wall with your hand. The wall hits your hand back. That is why it hurts. With these 3 rules and his math of gravity, he explained the whole world. The oceans. The planets. The path of comets. Everything. When the book was published, scientists could not believe it. The universe was not a dark mystery anymore. It was a perfect machine. And Isaac Newton had found the key. But life was not simple, even after fame. Isaac never married. He never had children. He lived alone. He worked alone. Sometimes his mind broke under the pressure. He had long periods of deep sadness. He wrote angry letters to people he trusted. He had a very ugly fight with a German scientist named Leibniz, who also invented calculus. They fought for years about who did it first. It was a dark side of a brilliant man. He was also interested in strange things. He spent years studying alchemy. Alchemy was an old practice. People tried to turn cheap metal into gold. Isaac had secret ovens in his room. He melted metals. He breathed in bad smoke. He also spent thousands of hours trying to find secret codes inside the Bible. He thought this work was more important than his science. History remembered it differently. When he was older, he moved to London. He became the master of the Royal Mint, the place where England makes its money. At that time, criminals were making counterfeit coins. Counterfeit means fake, copies that look real but are not. Isaac hated these criminals. He dressed in ordinary clothes and walked the dark streets of London. He caught many of them. He sent them to prison. Finally, the Queen of England gave him a great honor. She made him a knight. He was now Sir Isaac Newton. The lonely farm boy who talked to no one was now one of the most powerful men in the kingdom. Sir Isaac Newton died in 1727. He was 84 years old. He died peacefully in his sleep. England mourned deeply. They buried him in Westminster Abbey, the church where they bury kings and queens. His ideas never died. Scientists used his math to build airplanes. They used it to send rockets into space. When the first humans walked on the moon, they used the math Isaac Newton invented alone in a farmhouse, during a plague, with nowhere else to go. Near the end of his life, Isaac wrote something beautiful. He said, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." He meant that he built on the work of scientists before him. Their knowledge lifted him up. It let him see further than anyone else had seen. That one quiet apple. That one quiet question. And the world was never the same. Before we finish, I have a question for you. Isaac kept his greatest ideas secret for years because he was afraid. Have you ever had a good idea and kept it to yourself? Tell me in the comments. I would love to know. If this story helped your English today, a like means a lot to our small channel. And if you want more true stories like this one, please subscribe to Historyline English. A new story is waiting for you every week. Until next time, keep listening, keep asking questions, and take care of yourself. Goodbye, my friends.